Hello friends, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name is Elise, and this is my mystical bookshelf. And today, I know it's past Christmas at this point when this video goes up, but I couldn't not slip this little book in. I finally found the holiday mother-daughter book club book at McKay's for like 50 cents. Which was crazy. Can't believe it was that much. It was like so cheap. I was astonished. I actually own, no I don't. I own most of the books of the Mother Daughter Book Club now, but I couldn't let this holiday season slip by without talking about Home for the Holidays by Heather Vogel Frederick. And, you know, as a little treat to myself at the end of 2025, I bought most of the books on Audible, and I listened to them in order. And I found this book on Libby, and I listened to it, and it was great. It was really cute, very cute romance, or yes, light romance. There's more romance in the later books because the girls are getting older. I also listened to the last book too. I kind of listened to them all over the place, so I started because I got my credit back from Audible after One Foggy Christmas because that book offended me greatly and I was upset that I used a credit on it. So I got my credit back and I was like, you know, I should just stick with the basics, stick with books that I really like. And I bought the Mother-Daughter Book Club. I bought the first book, the second book, and the third book. I'm currently waiting for my next credit to buy the fourth book so I can listen to that as well. And I'm just kind of like listening to it all the time. It's such a good book series. I forgot how much I really, really, really enjoyed it. And the Home for the Holidays book is really cute. This one is interesting because we finally get Becca's point of view. So it's really cool to hear Becca like give her perspective to the readers. She's a really great character actually. She goes through a lot of character growth in the series, and I'm gonna say it. She's one of my favorite characters by the end of the book club series. She's just really sweet. She's gone through her mean girl phase, and she's gotten a lot better. She's got a lot better. She's not as bratty. She understands that what she did was wrong in the beginnings of the book series, which is really cool. I love a queen that has great character growth, and she's spectacular. I'm singing my praises for Rebecca, but she goes by Becca. And I also, another character that I really think goes through great character growth is Cassidy. She goes through so much character growth. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. So the book follows the girls as they go through a holiday transition of sorts. And they are not home for the holidays despite the title of the book, which I thought was funny. So Becca and Megan go on a cruise with Megan's grandmother and her mom and dad. And Megan has a boyfriend in this book that we meet in Pies and Prejudice. His name is Simon, and he's British. They are in a long-distance relationship. And I realize that sounds ridiculous for like teenagers. It really sounds ridiculous, but that's just how it is. That's how Heather decided to swing it. So they're in a long-distance relationship in this book. And Simon, he breaks Megan's heart. He says that they should see other people, that he wants to date other people, and Megan is like crushed. And then they go on this cruise, and hopefully this will get Megan's spirits back up. And Becca is also upset because Zach likes Cassidy, and we figure that out in this book, that Zach Norton, the one that everybody's crazy about in the beginning of the book series, he likes Cassidy. And I thought that was really interesting. But I was also not surprised because Cassidy is like a tomboy. She doesn't really get all bent out of shape about boys, which is another thing I like about her character. And yeah, so I mean, it's no surprise that she and Zach would get together because I feel like most boys, when they're that age, they don't want someone who's like crazy, I guess, or like tries too hard, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how to put it exactly, but that's my thoughts on it. And we follow the girls as they go through their different adventures, and I think Cassidy stays home. I'm almost positive Cassidy stays home. I don't remember her doing anything spectacular, but her sister does get engaged in this book. That's the only thing that really big happens with Cassidy. And Cassidy also has a little sister now in this part of the series. So her mom gets married in the second book, Much Ado About Anne, and then we figure out she's pregnant in the third book, and then she gives birth in the end of the third book, and then we meet her little sister, whose name is Chloe, in the fourth book. So it was really cool. I enjoy the Cassidy saga with her family becoming more of a blended family, and Cassidy's character growth in terms of like accepting that her mom got married, remarried, and accepting Stanley as her father figure, and then accepting Chloe as her little sister. Because in the third book that I read, she is like very resentful towards her mom getting pregnant with Chloe. She doesn't know it's a baby girl yet, and she's kind of just scared that the family dynamic is going to change, but it doesn't end up changing. I mean, it does end up changing, but it changes for the better. And I'm really happy that Cassidy's character growth is like, it's very realistic for a girl her age. It's showing that, it shows the readers that change is a good thing. And that's what I really love about the Mother-Daughter Book Club series, because all these girls go through changes in their lives, and it's good changes. Change is very good, and that's something that I applaud Heather for writing so beautifully in her book series. So, and then Emma and Jess in this book, in this specific iteration, they go to visit Jess's cousins, because Jess is supposed to go on a ski trip with her new friend named Savannah, who Savannah is mentioned in Dear Pen Pal. That's the third book. And she's kind of a snob. She's kind of a brat. She's kind of a Becca before Becca had like amazing character growth. And so she's kind of a frenemy at first for Jess, but then they end up getting to know each other and they actually like each other, so that's good. And Savannah goes through great character growth as well, especially in the third book. And she's actually really nice. Her parents are kind of neglectful towards her, and that's kind of why she acts the way that she does. But I'm really happy with like the female friendships in Mother-Daughter Book Club, because we get these girls that are at first kind of unsavory, but then as the series goes on, they become better. And I love that. I love that we don't have this us-them mentality. I love that we are introduced to these unsavory characters and then eventually they become palatable. And I love that. It's really great character growth. It really shows girls that even if someone seems a little bit unsavory at first, maybe if you get to know them better, they might not be so bad. And I love that message, because Savannah is actually really sweet. She's a big animal lover. In Dear Pen Pal, they kind of, Jess and her bond over animals a lot. And I thought that was really cute. So she's supposed to go on a ski trip with Savannah in the Home for the Holidays. But that doesn't end up happening. I think, yeah, Jess breaks her leg. So another thing with the Mother-Daughter Book Club is that most of the girls have boyfriends by this point in the series. So Emma is with Stuart. Cassidy is kind of with Zach. Becca doesn't have a boyfriend. And Megan is with Simon until like the middle of the book, I think. Or like a quarter of the way through. And then Jess is dating Emma's brother, Darcy, which I thought was very cute. It sort of gives me Mary's Song vibes by Taylor Swift. Like, he's the older one, she's the younger one, and they've known each other since they were kids, and it's nice watching their friendship in the beginning of the series blossom into a relationship, because their relationship is really cute. I stan. I have to stan. Darcy's a great boyfriend. He's a great brother. He's really cute. He's a good character in this book for sure. So Jess breaks her leg with during like a snow sledding incident with Darcy. And Darcy feels really bad. He feels like it's his fault. And then Emma she was upset that she was going with Savannah. So Emma's kind of not super upset that Jess isn't going now, because she wanted Jess to stay home with her for the holidays. I think that was the original plan, was Emma wanted to spend Christmas Eve and Christmas Day with her best friend Jess, because I know in Pies and Prejudice, I think there was a little bit of tension between Jess and Emma with like the boyfriend thing, and how Jess kind of felt like tossed aside because Stuart was in the picture and Stuart was Emma's boyfriend. And Emma made sure to let Jess know by the end of the book that it's best friends before boyfriends, and I really like that tagline as well, because it's very important when you're young, when you're just figuring out who you are. It's important to have those friendships before boyfriends, because it might not be the person that you marry, so it's not super important. And it's more important to have like meaningful friendships before having a romantic relationship. So Emma and Jess, they kind of talk their parents into letting them go to this farm and meet Jess's cousins and spend the Christmas time with them. And Emma, it gets to spend Christmas with Jess, even though there's some points of tension between them still, because Jess's cousin Felicia is kind of a know-it-all, and she's older than them. I think she's like probably 17 or 18. I'm not really sure. I don't think it's ever explicitly stated, but so her and Emma kind of hit it off, and Jess is kind of like taken aback by that, because Felicia is a know-it-all and she's kind of obnoxious, but she's a really big reader, so she kind of gets in with Emma in that way. She kind of was like, I really like reading, we connect with books and stuff. I feel like Jess kind of gets a little bit jealous with it, because she's so used to Felicia just being this big oaf and not being someone who is gonna fit in with other people. So she's kind of taken aback that Emma wants to be friends with her so much. And Felicia also kind of puts it in Emma's head that Jess is cheating on Darcy. That was also another weird point in this book, because Jess breaks her leg, she can't do like everything that the other kids are doing, so she kind of has to stay back and like rest. And she rests with this boy. His name is it's like Jeremiah or something weird like that. I don't remember his name exactly. I'd have to reread it, to be honest. But so this other boy, he is resting with Jess, and he's like flirting with her, and Jess is sort of flirting back, and Felicia points this out to Jess, and it kind of makes Emma upset, I guess, which is understandable because it's her brother and she feels protective over her brother, and I kind of felt upset about it too. I mean, I know it's like not super serious relationships, it's just between like a 15-year-old and a 17-year-old, but still, it's like you should treat it with respect and not go off and flirt with other people, because that's not good. But I don't even think Jess was doing it intentionally, which is what I think Heather was trying to get across, is that she has this chemistry with this other boy, but she makes it clear that she has a boyfriend, even though she's still kind of flirting with him or being overly friendly. It's not even really flirting. I think it's being overly friendly. And this boy doesn't really seem to take the hint. And I think that's what irritates Emma the most. And then that Jess isn't trying to like push him away necessarily. So this book has kind of got a lot of weird conflicts going on. There's a blizzard that happens, and there's all sorts of disasters that go on. And it's just kind of funny that it revolves around Christmas time, and it revolves around the Betsy Tacy series, which is something I want to read. It sounds really good, but I can't find them anywhere. I found them on Goodreads to like add them to my list of books I want to read, but I can't. They're not on Libby, and they're barely on Audible. I mean, it's kind of an older book series. It's something that Becca's grandmother introduced to them, and it sounds really good. I really want to read them. But so I'm gonna have to like do some digging and see if I can find the Betsy Tacy series. But yeah, so this was a really good book to read for Christmas. It has really nice Christmas aesthetics, and it sort of brings home the message in the end that it's no matter where you are, you can always celebrate Christmas and celebrate with your family, and it's about the people you're with, not necessarily the place that you are. And that's kind of like the message that hits home at the end of this book, is that it's not, the place isn't what makes Christmas special, it's the people that make Christmas special. And everyone kind of makes up in the end, and all the conflicts are dissolved, and it ends on New Year's. It ends on New Year's Eve, going into New Year's Day. And it was just a really good little interlude to the Mother-Daughter Book Club. And then, oh my gosh, excuse me. And then I started reading Wish You Were Air, which is the 6th book after this book, but I have had a hard time getting into that since I kind of been skipping ahead and read the end book before I finished Wish You Were Air, which is interesting. And I might have to do another Mother-Daughter Book Club video explaining like the full series, because this is kind of, I'm just trying to cover the Christmas book. But I would definitely recommend the Mother-Daughter Book Club series. It's my favorite book series. I really enjoy it. I'm super happy that I own all the books and that I have the Audible versions. And I made another video about the Mother-Daughter Book Club series last year. And that kind of goes into more in-depth on the earlier books. But this video will go more in-depth on the holiday book. And it just really, it was a lighthearted Christmas read to add to my repertoire of books that I really enjoyed reading in 2025. I read some really good Christmas books this year, and I think I'm going to go through the whole Mother-Daughter Book Club series front to back, beginning to end, and then I'm going to make a third video fully covering everything. I'm going to make notes. It's going to be great. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the Mother-Daughter Book Club Home for the Holidays, the 5th book. It was really great. I enjoyed it quite thoroughly. I love watching the girls grow up. And I hope that you enjoy it too. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, friends.